Hey, what's poppin'? This your boy Jay the Comedian. How y'all doing today? Um, so I was watching some YouTube earlier today, and Bridget Fister put out a video, and I gotta commend her on her bravery for putting out that piece, and I really enjoyed it, and it was politics. Like I never really give my perspective on politics, and I usually do that in an effort to I guess keep everybody happy. Usually when you bring politics into the picture, people start to get upset and pissed off, and things get bad. Hey, everybody. Hey, that's coming in. But today, before I even get to that, I want to just say first, whenever it comes to getting information, right? Whenever somebody who you even yourself deem to not have a credible argument, and you feel like it's not even worth your time to argue with somebody about or to try to talk to somebody about, you should never do that. You should always be open to the free exchange of information, if nothing else. And the reason you do that is because no matter how crazy somebody's argument is, no matter how crazy somebody's stance is, you are in a position for two things. Either you learn something you didn't know and maybe even change your mind from it, or you end up with a stronger argument going forward. Information doesn't hurt. Information, for the most part, is actually a very, very good thing that we all need to be willing and open and even excited about getting. I know I'm excited about getting information. And there's a certain pattern and routine that we go through when it comes to getting information. Like, for example, if somebody would come up to me and say, J-Rum, Jay, I heard you got of a JJ, and I can prove it. Now, my reaction could be, all right, you sound crazy. I'm not even going to pay attention to you. Or I could be like, you got what? Oh, I'm out of here. Or my real reaction is going to be, you do? Really? Well, I would love to see that, because I am interested in what somebody could possibly have to that would be so extreme to make them believe something that extreme. And that's how it should be when it comes to getting information and talking to people about certain situations. Now, the reason I say that is because there's certain things that I put together as far as like when I left the organization that I put in a certain category as far as like things to never do again if you want to stay from joining a cult. It's just a certain guideline that I made myself that I'll never fall into again, because I believe that's what caused me to stay in the cult for so long. You know what I mean? All right. One of those things is to not to first off never say, hey, there's nothing you can say that's going to change my mind. I don't care what you say, I'm not going to change my mind. That's something nobody should ever say. Even if, like I said earlier, even if it sounds ridiculous, there's only two things that could happen. Either you learn information and you adjust your thinking, or you strengthen your own argument you had in the first place. Now, I did two deep dives into some situations where I felt that I was 100% right, but there was enough people questioning it that made me want to say, okay, well, let me look into this and see what it's about. One thing was whether or not the earth was flat. I know, it sounds crazy, right? But there were enough people, and when you talk to them, they sound like they're logical and intelligent. So I'm like, okay, let me do a deep dive. Let me look and see why people believe what they believe. And after doing a lot of research, looking at some crazy websites and looking over the information provided to me by people who believe the earth is flat, I come to the conclusion that the earth is not flat. But also, I am now able to go forth and easily dispatch arguments for the earth being flat. You know what I mean? And I couldn't have done that unless I was willing to stop and go and look and research into what exactly made these people believe these things. And that's the thing. You should always look and see, like, if somebody have a genuine argument, the goal in a back and forth conversation is always to figure out where you disagree. Because if you can find out exactly where you disagree at, then you'll be able to fix problems or at least get to a point where you both have a mutual understanding. You know what I mean? You're not fighting each other. You're not trying to kill each other to get to an understanding. You both have a mutual understanding because you both talked and you figured out where each person is coming from. Now, if one person is just only there to degrade and, call names and do all that other goofy stuff, then yeah, that argument ain't going too far. So yeah, you could probably 86 that person. But for the most part, most people want to talk and they want to express their feelings. Now, with all that said, I did a deep dive into whether or not Donald Trump was a good person. And he was actually out there fighting for us. Because I have a lot of people in the XJW community who reach out to me all the time who says and believe that Donald Trump is a good guy. Now, these people are good people. I know them. They're not racist. They're not crazy. They're good people. And they believe they're working with good information. So that caused me to look deep into the QAnon movement. All right. Now, the QAnon movement, if you're not familiar, is basically they believe certain things, like they believe in the deep state. They believe that Donald Trump is he's a person who has come into power that wasn't meant to come into power, and he's there to fix everything that's wrong in America and to put out all the elite, crazy globalists who is trying to destroy human life and happiness and only like have everything for themselves. Kind of. That's like a really terrible explanation of it, but for the most part, it's a lot of conspiracies. It's a lot of information out there. Now, there are problems with the QAnon movement that run directly into the things that I said I could never personally fall for, because that's how I was trapped by the Jehovah's Witnesses. You know what I mean? For instance, things have to make sense on a logical plane. You know what I mean? If it doesn't make sense logically, then I can't be on board. Now, when I say that, they're going to say that, the stuff that they say makes sense. And like some of the stuff that I will push back on is, for instance, Donald Trump is the president, right? Attorney General Barr is the AG. He's the United States Attorney General. He's the head of the Department of Justice, the FBI, the CIA. Donald Trump is the head of the full power of the U.S. military, the CDC, and the other organizations and branches. He has the majority on the Supreme Court. He has the majority in the U.S. Senate, and I believe in the judiciary. He is in charge. These men are not underdogs. They're in a position of power, right? For the QAnon movement to believe that Bill Gates is this horrible, messed up, bad guy, why is he arrested? If he's out there and he caused this entire coronavirus thing, which a lot of people believe, and the people who are in positions to go against that are in power, why isn't he being arrested? Now, I know a lot of people say, in the QAnon movement, like I say, I got this because I have conversations with them and I figure out where they're coming from, that the reason they're not arresting people right now is because they're building up a case. And they're building up information, and at any day now, they're going to be arrest made. Now, that runs into another thing that I promised myself that I would never fall for after I leave the Jehovah's Witness organization. And that is a close timeline. Oh, it's right around the corner. Any day now. Trust me, the arrests are coming. The new paradise is going to be here. All that stuff, right? It still hasn't happened. There has been no arrests. There has been no indictments of anybody as far as like the big names, James Comey, Tapper, all these people. Nobody's been arrested. Nobody. And it's not like they're not in a position to arrest them. They're in a position. Now, if you're saying that these people, right, like the celebrities and Obama and the Clintons and stuff, they have these. First off, they have a code word named pizza, and that means that it's like a predatory thing for kids, and that means that they're like eating babies and drinking their blood to stay young. It's some crazy stuff, but if they're doing this, don't you think they would change the name or the lingo that they're using? If it's supposed to be a secret code word and everybody's saying, hey, that's a secret code word, don't you think that they would change that word? You know what I mean? Like, it don't make sense on a logical plane for me. And for these people to be in these positions of power, Donald Trump and everybody else, what are we waiting for? Why aren't arrests being made? Why aren't people being walked away? Now, if you're saying it's because, they're trying to build up the case and they want to make sure everything is done right, just know, in the meantime, between time, all the bad stuff is still happening. Like I said before, there's a lot of people who believe that the coronavirus is a hoax and that Donald Trump is trying to, he's letting it go on so he can show who all the bad actors are. But in the meantime, between time, while he's letting all this go on, while he's letting this virus take over, their business is shutting down. It's not coming back. There are people out here who are hurting themselves because they lost their livelihood and they don't know what they're going to do in the future. So if your argument is Donald Trump is letting this happen so that he can out all the bad actors, you're also saying he's okay with all the businesses being closed and the economy being destroyed and all these other things happening, and that's it? Like, we just, he's okay with that? He's letting that happen? And you're like, yeah, I'm okay with that happening. At any point, if he wanted to, he could get up in front of the American people and say, this is a hoax. It was never true. The only reason I let it go on this far is because I wanted to out any and everybody that's in the deep state who had an agenda. And this is the thing. He's not even going in that direction. If anything, he's going in the other direction. He's wearing a mask now. He put out a tweet the other day that said, true patriots wear masks. Well, where we go one, we go all, right? Why isn't everybody wearing a mask that's inside the QAnon group? And how are we blaming the Democrats for this? How are we saying that it's the Democratic Party's fault for all of this? See, that's another thing that runs directly against the things that I told myself I would never fall for, which is biased information. When it comes to QAnon, like the X-22 report, I watch that stuff. And it's very, very powerful and riveting the way they present the information. They present it in a way that this is facts, when it's a lot of assertions if you really look at it. They say things as if it's facts. They say things like, well, we already know that Obama did this and we did that. And I'm just like, I don't think we know that. I don't think we can accept that as fact. But okay, let's just say that the QAnon group and the QAnon people, first off, who's Q? Nobody seems to know who Q is. They say he's a person or it's a group of people inside the government, high-ranking officials who are fighting. They're called patriots, and they're fighting for the American people, for the safety and happiness of America, and they're fighting for the Constitution. Couple things there. If they're saying that it's bad people on both sides, right? I noticed that it's heavily biased toward the conservative side. The Democratic side, oh, they're all bad for the most part. You can just wipe all those. They're all bad for the most part. Very few Democratic people are on the good side. And most of the Republican people are on the good side. And another thing is, like, because I've asked this question numerous times, how do you know who's good and how do you know who's bad? Well, it's pretty simple. If Donald Trump like them, they good. If Donald Trump don't like them, they're bad. Which runs into another thing. that I hold myself to that I'll never fall for again after I left the Jehovah's Witness organization. That is allowing my ability to think be based on what some guy in a leadership position says. I can't do that. Because even then, Donald Trump had people that he used to like. But those people did something he didn't like, and now he don't like them no more. And now they're deep state. Which is apparently, when you look at like the Jehovah's Witness and the QAnon stuff, the deep state is like an apostate. You know what I mean? Oh, don't listen to them. Don't pay attention to them. We hope they get destroyed. We hope that they not happy. And they're deep state. They're evil. You can automatically classify them as evil. But the problem with that is there's no inherently good or evil people. We're all capable of doing good and bad things. So to tell people to blanket observe others as bad, like, you know, they're bad, they're deep state, they're horrible people, get rid of them, cut them out, that should go against any ex-Jehovah's Witness. Like, that should send up a red flag right there. And the fact that they say stuff like, you know, this is fake news. Now, I'll admit, news networks, for the most part, seem to always have an agenda. And that agenda, to me, is not deep state control of the mind. It's ratings. You know what I mean? I can get behind that all day. Yes, they will always go for the more crazy story. If there's a story about somebody who pledged a large amount of money to a college and it's doing real good in the world, and there's a story of somebody in a police chase, they're going to go with that police chase because it's more energetic and it's more cool. It's more fun to look at. I'll give you that about the media. But the problem I have with QAnon is that they will say CNN and all these mainstream media, they're fake news and they're evil and they're deep state. But when they say something or they report something that agrees with what the QAnons believe and think, they show it. They're like, look what CNN's reporting. I told you this is true. Hold on. If you're telling me that this news outlet is able to report true and accurate things, then how can you say they're fake news? Now, I get it. Maybe you're saying that the majority of what they put out is fake news, but sometimes they get it right. But the thing is that it comes down, it makes this paradox where how do you know what is good and what is bad? Oh, you'll know because Donald Trump will tell you if it's good or if it's bad. That's not how it works, bro. That's not how it works. You cannot work like that. And nobody should put all their, like, the thought process of whether or not something's good is bad or good or bad in somebody else's hands. That's not right. That's not how you're supposed to do that. And it all comes down to just logic, you know, like the conspiracy theories. I know why conspiracy theories are moving on so quick. I know why, like, okay, they're saying that, like, Donald Trump is letting all this go on because there's such a large amount of people waking up and joining the QAnon movement, which it is. But I would explain that away as people, human beings, by nature, we like conspiracy theories. They're fun, they're sexy, they're exciting. Even the ones we know aren't true. Like, let's be honest. Area 51, they don't have aliens there probably, right? Just be honest with me. Area 51 probably don't have aliens there. Even if they did have aliens there at one point, they don't now, right? Because with logic, even if people are guessing that you have something there, you would just move them to another site or build another black site without any name or a completely different name just because, you know, people figured it out or they accidentally figured it out. It just wouldn't be there anymore. But that doesn't change the mind of the conspiracy theorists. The conspiracy theorists are still like, oh, they got them aliens there. Because it's cool, it's fun, it's sexy. That doesn't make it true. And with all the conspiracy theories, I have a simple thing that I want to just put out there. The simplest answer is usually the correct one. Whenever there's a situation going on and there's a bunch of evidence, chances are the simplest answer is the correct one. If I come to my house and my house has been ransacked and all of my valuables have been taken, how would I sound if I was like, I guess God must have came in and his angels were looking for valuable things to store for me in heaven. And that's what happened to my place. Or somebody broke into your house and stole your things. You see how that works? Chances are somebody just broke into my house. You don't need this crazy explanation in order to get to the conclusion. You know what I mean? But to believe what Trump and the QAnon group is saying, you have to believe that there's a group of people out there who are amazingly good at keeping secrets, but also extremely dumb. They're both geniuses and extremely dumb all at the same time. Because they do stuff like they transfer kids inside of a pizza parlor, right? Let's look at Wayfair, for example, right? Wayfair, apparently they were selling kids in the open market inside of their their shopping products, and they were charging all this money. And people believe this crazy stuff too. But this is the thing. Once again, Trump is the president. Attorney General Barr is the head of the Department of Justice. Is Wayfair still existing right now? Is Wayfair still in business right now? So unless you have more information than the United States Attorney General, why aren't they being arrested? Does he not know that Wayfair is doing this? Does he not have? If Attorney General Barr had accurate information about this happening, don't you think Wayfair would be shut down right now and being investigated? Maybe no arrest, but they would at least be shut down and being investigated, right? They wouldn't be able to continue to operate and do business and not be looked at, right? See, this is my problem with the QAnon entire movement. It's based on bad information. And whenever you put it up against other information, it's immediately shut down. It's, oh, you're listening to them. They fake news. You can't believe nothing that they say. And oh, since they are fake news, they're not going to report on this. Because, you know, they don't support this this movement of helping and freeing Americans. Or it's not true. Or it's not substantiated, so they're not going to report on it. You know what I mean? These are things that we should think about and consider when we join groups like this. Like, I personally look at the QAnon group and movement like it is a cult because it meets certain criteria, right? Like, let's look at the criteria. Donald Trump is the leader, right? If he says somebody's good, they're good. If he says somebody's bad, they're deep state. Right or wrong? When Trump came out and said Dr. Fauci or Dr. Fauci, whoever his name is, he was deep state Fauci. At that point right there, nobody, and I mean nobody on the QAnon group was like, oh, he's a good guy. They're like, he's a bad guy. Even though he's somebody Trump could fire at any given day. Trump could fire him if he's a bad guy. But 6 months later, he's still there. He's still giving information, and the pandemic is still here. So it can't be both things. He can't be in charge and not making these arrests. He can't be as powerful as he is and not shut down bad things as they happen and secure and save all these people. You know what I mean? Like, every time I've seen the police do a raid or something like that, it barely makes the news. I gotta give it honest. Like, I've seen a lot of raids and whatnot. It may make local news, but it may not make national news and stuff like that. But Fauci lied about masks in the beginning. Okay, Fauci said in the beginning that masks will not stop you from catching the coronavirus. And masks are, you know, I mean, you can wear them, I guess, right? But this is the thing, and even he didn't notice at the time. As the time moved forward and we learned more about the coronavirus, we learned that the coronavirus is more airborne than they originally thought. And the mask will not stop you from getting the coronavirus. Like, the little droplets are so small that the mask will not prevent you from getting the coronavirus. But it helps. You know what I mean? Like, if I sneeze into my mask, it won't be as many droplets, you know? Like, if somebody else sneezes into their mask, it won't be as many droplets. And if I walk past somebody who has just sneezed and they have their mask on and I have my mask on, it helps. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm driving a car and my car has an airbag, I have a seatbelt still. You know what I mean? Like, will a seatbelt guarantee that my life will be saved if I get in a car accident? No, but it helps. You understand? And when he said that, the mask, you know, he was accurate. Yeah, it's not going to stop you from getting it, but it helps. So it doesn't come down to whether or not it stops you. It helps. And at this point, we're trying to get past this thing. Like, I don't want to be in my house no more. I want to be out kicking it. So if you want to be out kicking it, if you look at the examples of the other countries that are nowhere near as advanced as we are, who have taken this thing seriously, their numbers are down. So we're not trying to, like, oh, they want us to wear our masks to shut us up. First off, nobody wears masks to shut up. Okay. I had my kid had a mask on the other day and he would not stop talking. But the mask and the social distancing thing, it's trying to get us out of this situation. We're trying to get past this. There's not a bigger play here. That's a conspiracy theory thing that, once again, makes no sense. What's the bigger play? Well, you know, if they get you like to wear your mask, next thing you know, they're gonna have you taking these vaccines, and the vaccines gonna have the information in there, and everybody gonna have all your information. What information the government don't got of you right now? I don't want no pill injected into me or no like tracking device. That's a fact. But I need that vaccine because I want to go around and I want to have fun again. Okay? And if Donald Trump is out there spending billions of dollars to the first people to Pfizer to come up with this vaccine, don't you think he's taking it seriously? Don't you think if he's taking it serious, maybe you should take it serious, QAnon people? Now, this is me. I've done research, but when it comes to research, you really have to, it's almost like a skill that you need to research, which I never thought of before. Like, researching as a skill, that's interesting. But it is. It's a skill. It's a skill that you really need to have, because you can't just take the first thing you see and run with it. The information that you do get, you have to take that and you have to break it down and you have to look at multiple sources to confirm that thing. Even because, especially as technology improves, that means the research has to be even harder. Because now people can doctor images, people can have other people talking on a face that's not that person. Everybody has an opinion. You really have to look into the things that you research, and you cannot be or have any bias toward the opposite research. If at any point you're saying, oh, that's fake news, I don't watch them, or oh, that's bad, I don't listen to them, you sound just like Jehovah's Witnesses. Remember that? Oh, they apostate, I don't listen to them. Oh, he don't like Jehovah, I don't listen. Whenever it's information that's contradicting yours, that's the first information you should look at. Because at that point, you should want to know what could possibly, especially if you feel like your information is good and clear and concise, you should wonder what other people have that has convinced them so deeply in their beliefs, and be willing to really look into them and figure it out. QAnon people, from what I'm seeing, are not doing that. They do not give CNN, MSNBC, other mainstream media outlets a fair shake. They're just like, no, they're fake news. I don't listen to them. But there's something about the mainstream media that I prefer over QAnon sources. There have been times when a QAnon story has been proven false, right? I've yet to see anybody in the QAnon community print a retraction. I've yet to see it. I've yet to see one time the QAnon group said, "I'm sorry, we got that wrong." Who does that remind me of? Who does that stuff? Who says instead of just like admitting guilt, just try to like pivot from it and move around from it? It sounds familiar. It sounds really familiar. And I'll tell you if you don't know. It's Jehovah's Witness governing body. That's what they do. They're like, oh, well, this information that we got some new light. Yes, we weren't wrong. We just had old light. And now that we got these new light bulbs, we're going to change them and we're going to move forth amicably. Amicably. Okay? So, before I get to the comments and stuff like that, I really want everybody to just listen to what I'm saying. When there's a communication between people, I'm willing to talk to anybody in the QAnon movement on pretty much any issue. And the reason I'm willing to do that is because if I'm wrong, I'm willing to say I'm wrong, and I'm willing to get the information and put it out to the people and tell everybody, yo, I'm wrong about this. I thought I was right, but I'm wrong. So I need to talk to you guys, and I need you to explain to me why I'm wrong. Explain to me why Donald Trump is in a position to arrest George Soros, Bill Gates, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and all these other people, and he's not doing it. Explain to me why there's not any indictments. Now, if you know, I would enjoy you telling me that. And if you know why when Donald Trump says somebody's good, they're good, and when he says they're bad, and why I should lean on that and I should be okay with doing that, let me know. And as far as like the deep state and stuff like that, how can they be both extremely smart enough to fool almost the entire globe, yet extremely dumb enough to sell people on the open market? If you can explain that to me, I would greatly appreciate that. And yeah, everybody out there, if you're gonna have a conversation about these type of political issues, be sure you're trying to get information, you know? Because like I say, either you're gonna change your mind, you're gonna get good information, and you're gonna say, wow, I never thought about it that way, and I really wish I was paying attention more, and you know, that was good information. Or you're gonna strengthen your argument going forward. You're gonna know how they're gonna come at you, and you're gonna be able to present an argument, a better argument, knowing where they're coming from. Or I guess it's a third thing, you guys can find a place where you disagree and you can leave it at that. You know what I mean? So that should be the goal, people, to just really search out and get information. The QAnon group, from all the research I've done, they're heavily biased to the left, or I'm sorry, to the right. They're heavily biased toward the conservative Republican Party, and there's a lot of hypocrisy I see there. And as far as like things being too biased, the fact that I can tell that somebody's that I've never seen before have anything to do with is probably left leaning, just because they're reporting about them, that means that you're an unbiased, or that you're a totally biased organization. And it's just a couple things that as a XJW I'll never fall for. That is biased information. Any leadership that says, hey, this is good or this is bad, and I'm supposed to go with it because they said this is good or this is bad. Anybody who's selling me on a timeline that's supposed to happen quick, but then you look up and a month or 3 months or a year has gone by and still nothing. Um, there's some others, but I can't remember them right now. But you should get what I'm saying, though, right? Like, there's a lot of stuff that goes on, and if Donald Trump is the person that QAnon say he is, he's in a position to stop it. And so far, from what I'm seeing, he's not stopping it. He's letting it go on. Apparently, like they said, there's been a great awakening. There's a lot of people joining the QAnon side. I think it's because it's like they put your conspiracy theories, and conspiracy theories are cool and sexy. But even if that is his reason, you have to look at everything that's happening right now. Everybody who gets kidnapped and taken away, or any bad thing that's happening right now, he's letting it happen. You know what I mean? And that's something that I need answered. Anyway, sorry for going all political on you, but these are issues that I really want to talk about sometimes. Like, I usually keep this to Facebook, but this is something that I think we're mature enough to talk about in a reasonable manner. And if there is any questions you have for me, I'll be more than happy to answer them. So let's go. I may have to get my phone charger because I think my battery's going low. But what questions do you got for your boy? Let me see. How do I get to the comments on this da-da-dang? All right. Yeah, it's the best to do deep research on your own. That's right. You got to do deep research. Let me see. Because the people got so powerful over so many years, for someone like you, it's better expose the stuff and beats so you don't get off your mind. Because people got so powerful over so many years, for someone like you, it's better to expose the stuff and beats so you don't get off your mind. Okay, so even if it was the purpose of informing me, right? Like, I've done research, and the purpose is to inform me and get me to see all the bad that's going on in the world, and it's supposed to change my mind, right? My mind hasn't changed. I've looked at everything that was presented to me. I looked at all the so-called stuff that's happening. First off, everything is happening behind doors, and the arrests are coming soon. Still no arrests. And if everything's happening behind closed doors, how am I supposed to witness it? You understand? So that doesn't make sense to me. If anybody is selling children, it would be Trump, since there's so many photos of him with Epstein. Big, hey Gail, big facts right there. Aren't all corporate media outlets on TV have political agendas and bias? Yes. I would say they probably are a little bit, but any agency that's out there who don't do retractions, they're more biased than anybody else, okay? If they do retractions, I'll listen to them. But if they don't do retractions, oh, I have nothing to talk about there. Trump is using the deep state conspiracy theory crap as another way to get reelected. I believe so. Is Snoop's good for research? I don't know who that is. It is Gal, but he's gaining some nutty members. Okay. If the deep state stuff was right, Trump would be dragging it to the light. Yeah, he would. I haven't seen him drag anything into the light. Cues a distraction from Trump's failures. I believe that. Take on the easy research after this video. Take a look at Dr. Fauci's life and career. Simple. All right, I'll do that. I'll look and see what Dr. Fauci career and stuff is. And I'll also ask you to do the same thing. And if it's bad, why did Trump not fire him? Why has Trump still not fired him? Ask me that question, because if I go on there and I get a bunch of conspiracy theory about Dr. Fauci, then, you know what I'm saying? Like, why would he be in that position? Why would Trump not fire him? At that point, if he's a bad guy, then that means that Donald Trump himself is bad at hiring people. It's not good for him either way it go. There's a difference between lying and knowing. I agree. I don't know what that means, but I agree. Fauci lied about masks in the beginning. Well, I think I explained that one already. Buildings on fire with some people. I live in the Seattle area. Peaceful protests, good Lord. They have seen tons of videos that mainstream media outlet refuse to show smashing and looting. Well, I mean, people be tripping out there in them protests. Looting is the voice of people who haven't been listened to. QAnon movement seems too much like a cult. Oh, I tried to tell him, Karen. Oh, your name's Karen. That's cute. At this point, most Americans just rally behind their side. No critical thinking. Yeah, I'm independent. I don't have a side. I like guns. I'm okay with, abortion or whatever at a certain age. But I do not. I have my own opinions. Like I said, I'm independent. I'm neither Democrat or Republican. I actually don't like Biden. I like Bernie Sanders more, but I really don't like Trump, so I'm gonna not be voting for him. I used to vote Democrat, but it seems to me the entire party have gone off the rails. Uh, uh, I think you mean the Republicans. That party has been going really crazy. It's deeper than you think. Please do research. I've done research. Trust me. I've done all the research. That's another thing QAnon people always say to me. Do research. Do more research. I do research. I do anything. I constantly tell people, show me what you got. Give me something to look at and prove your point. So far, I've gotten stuff that I was able to debunk quickly. And it wasn't like even using biased information. Like, it was just like information that was accepted by all sides. Like, yes. It gets me. But he needs him for now. So, why do Donald Trump need Dr. Fauci? Does he have no other doctors there? He has the woman there. Can't he use her? Why does he need Dr. Fauci? Explain that to me. I need to know that. Hi, Jay. Watching from California. What's up, Cali? Oh, man. Y'all got the best everything out there. The weather, the weed. I got all the good stuff, man. I love to go to California. Y'all got palm trees. If it's anything that you don't know about Jay the Comedian, you should know I love palm trees. Oh, I love tropical weather and things like that. And I like talking to y'all because y'all some cool people. Y'all got big booties and stuff. I love you. My brother, you have a long way to go. I just heard you say you don't like Trump. Yes, I don't like Trump, but I mean, it's a reason for that. Oh, it's Jay. Yes, it's me. The reason I don't like Trump is because Trump is a celebrity president. And he runs the presidency like a celebrity president. Now, I'm okay with that, but you got to understand how celebrities behave. Celebrities do not try to make everyone happy. They don't. They only try to make their fan base happy. And in doing that, anybody who's not their fan, that gets kicked to the curb. But if you run a country like that, that means that you're going to have a bunch of people hating on you, And, yeah, man, I don't like the things Trump say and do, but I'm still fair. No matter what, I'm still fair to the man, and that's what I do. If a woman is also in, please research her too. So, okay, so Trump hired 2 people that were deep state, and Trump won't fire neither one? Just logically answer that for me. Trump put 2 people in his cabinet and keep them there, and they're deep state bad guys. But Trump is good and they're bad. Has he been in war? Has who been in war? I don't get what that's supposed to mean. The woman is bad too. She's also evil. You should know. This country is a business. Every country is a business. At this point, I'm deep state too. I was just saying that. I think I'm deep state. If I keep putting out anti-Trump videos, or just anti-Trump stuff on my YouTube page, or my Facebook page, people are gonna be like, Jay, you anti-Trump, you deep state? I'm too broke to be deep state. I'm talking to you from my green screen. That means I'm broke, ladies and gentlemen. Please subscribe. Like the video. Only got 16 likes. Come on, y'all. Like the video. Do you agree that critical race... Hold on. Do you agree with critical race theory? What is that? I don't even know what that is. Could you explain? I live in California, the best area. Hell yeah, I know y'all got some fire out there in California. I've been trying to get out there for years. I'm sorry, y'all, if I seem distracted. I'm trying to find a little cube thing to plug my phone in because I'm running out of battery. So, Trump has not been in any war until now. Trump is not in war now. What war is he in now? And even if he hasn't been in any war, if he has two bad people that he put in place, whose fault is that? He solved many wars. So what war did he solve? We're still in Afghanistan, aren't we? I think he said we're trying to pull out. And I was actually happy when I heard that. I was like, okay, Trump, good shit. But we still there though, right? I hope my phone don't cut off. My phone will probably cut off. I can't find my cube. No! Okay, you guys. What else y'all saying? He solved many wars. All right. Yeah, I don't believe that. Hey, no political stuff here, man. Funny. I'm trying to be funny. But I gotta do my political little stuff. You know, it's got a meaning. I got views outside of JWs. I gotta express those too. And I try to be logical with everything. And logically, these things don't make sense. Trump will solve the missing cube situation. Right around the corner. Trump, let me know where my cube is at. I know it's close. At least something should be close. I can't find it though. Come on, cube. Where the hell are you? You know, the other day I washed my cube. You're one of the best, Jay. Oh, I appreciate it. Oh, Henry, too. I appreciate it. Critical race theories claim that all white people are racist to guilt them into anarchy. Hold on. Work and look for race in everything. If you disagree with it, you are complicit with it. No, I don't think all white people are racist. I made a video not too long ago, kind of stating that the problem in America is not really racist people, because like people who are racist and they like, you know, they do racist, evil stuff like that. I don't believe that it's so many racist people that it's a problem to the point where it's holding us back as black people. I think it's enough people in the world that's like, black people are cool, you know? And if that is true, then why are black people still suffering? These are lingering after effects of having been enslaved for 400 years and never having any like PTSD, what is it called? Like therapy? Because if any people go through what black people went through during slavery times, this is what happens. First off, you have the people who are in it, right? And they raise their kids. And when they raise their kids, these are people suffering from PTSD, raising children, instilling the things that they fear and the things that they think about the world into their kids. And their kids grow up with that mindset. And it goes on and so forth. And it's a legitimate thing, because not only that, like when you look at black people, for the most part, they're endangered the most because they have no way to defend themselves financially. A lot of black people in this country come from underprivileged neighborhoods, and really saying all lives matter is now a racist statement. It is. Allow me to explain why all lives matter is a racist statement. Because when you say all lives matter to somebody who's saying black lives matter, what I hear personally is we say black lives matter too. I hear all lives matter except black lives. Because this is the thing. When I hear all lives matter, I'm hearing that we've always felt that all lives matter. At no point was anybody like, black lives don't matter. We're saying all lives matter. And if we're saying all lives matter and all lives has always mattered, that means nothing needs to change. You get what I'm saying? People who say all lives matter are basically saying that things don't need to change. Black lives, what do you mean black lives matter? All lives matter. And all lives have always mattered. So what needs to change? So in essence, when you tell a black person that all lives matter, you're telling them that things should stay the same and things shouldn't change. And when you say that to a black person hears that and think, you're okay with what's happening to us right now. You're okay with seeing a police officer put his neck on a black man until he dies. That's what we hear when you say all lives matter. So that's what it is. Like, when we say Black Lives Matter, we're not saying only Black Lives Matter. We're saying all lives matter. And hey, don't forget about the black people too, because right now it seems like we're not that valuable. It don't even seem like we matter. And that's what we're saying. So when we hear all lives matter, it sounds racist to us because it sounds like you like the way things are now and you don't want to change them. And you don't care. That's why it's a problem. Did I explain that good enough? I hope I did. I know somebody still ain't gonna see it. You should see the violence, not race in any case. I don't get what that means. I mean everything is fine the way it is. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. If all lives matter, then that means that everything's fine and nobody, like, the comedians are good. What's poppin', fellow XJW brother? How's the weather in the Chi? Hot, bro. It is hot and sticky. Only thing I like hot and sticky is the bedroom, not my freaking backyard. Hey, oh, man. Saying all lives matter is now a racist statement. Okay, so I've gone back and I've explained that, hopefully. I hope I did. Okay, I don't think I'm going to find my cube. So if my phone cuts off, it's all love and you know what it is. But, okay, in conclusion, right? QAnon seems a bit disingenuous to me. Seems biased. But I look forward to any conversation with anybody in the QAnon movement because I appreciate knowledge and I want to know where you come from and I want to know how you landed, where you landed on that subject. Now, so we should start with not killing each other. I agree. Black people, stop shooting each other. It's not cool and it takes away from the message. And also, people who use, like, when black people do kill each other, when you see something on the news about, it's been 30 shootings in Chicago, where is Black Lives Matter? Don't do that. Don't undermine a movement because other people are not behaving the way they should. Because one thing that I know is disingenuous about that is, if you ask anybody in the Black Lives Matter movement if they're okay with the murders that's happening in Chicago, you know what they're going to say. You and I both know they're going to say, no, we're not okay with that. And when we say Black Lives Matter, we're not talking to just white people. We're talking to any and everybody who doesn't value black and brown people on this planet, which include black and brown people. You know what I mean? Like, it's for everybody. It's not a racist statement. It's not just for black people. It's for any and everybody who would be quick to take the life of a black person without any good reason. You understand me? But anyway, my phone's about to cut off. I hope y'all having a great day. So far, my day's going good, and I had to get this off my chest, and I hope that if you haven't seen the whole video, you go back and watch the beginning of the video, and if you have a problem with anything I say, please, in the comment section, let me know your thoughts, and let's get a good back and forth going. Let's get a good conversation going, because at the end of the day, exchanging knowledge is the best thing we could do as humans, and get to the better life we're all looking for, okay? I hope y'all having a great day. It's your boy, Jay the Comedian. Holla at your guala. Deuces. Now, how do I turn this thing off?